Sheriff Smith, it's good to be here with you. What updates do you have on this case surrounding the alleged child abuse in Lindale?
Okay, as was previously reported, there was over 100 instances of what was observed to be as abuse, and detectives going back and looking at the video documentation from the Children's Center, and that doesn't mean that there's going to be 100 and something different separate cases. So the individual has been arrested on via a complaint for 6 different charges. The investigation is still ongoing, and what happens when you arrest somebody on a warrant? The clock starts ticking. The clock starts ticking for there's time. We have to take this case to grand jury within 90 days. We have to do several things, several time constraints we have to meet. So it's going to be a long-term investigation. It's not going to be done overnight. So we've taken the 6 most first cases that we found that we could prove and arrested the individual, Catherine Guzieska, on those charges. And the investigators are still going through video evidence. And at some point, most likely, I can't speak for the district attorney's office, but most likely what I've seen in the past will happen is once grand jury comes up, she'll be indicted on the 6 we have, and potentially if there's more evidence of separate victims, she will also be indicted on those new cases.
So what are you guys looking for as the investigation continues? What sort of the missing pieces of the puzzle you're looking to find out?
Just any form of abuse by this individual on the children. Abuse, I would call it by kicking them with their foot in the back and different parts of their body, and things of that nature.
How does the level of abuse in this case allegedly compared to other cases of alleged child abuse you've dealt with in the past?
Well, there's different type of injuries in child abuse, and thank goodness that this one hasn't gone to serious bodily injury on any of the children as far as I know that's been reported at this point. There's minor to medium bruising that has shown up on the children from being kicked, but we've worked child abuse cases where obviously where the child didn't make it, succumb to their injuries. So, but child abuse is child abuse. That's why we have the Children's Advocacy Center here in Smith County, is we speak for the children that can't speak for themselves. And we're going to be their voice for them and make sure that they're safe and secure in any environment they're in where someone is trusted to take care of them in a setting like this, and that's what we're there for.
And in terms of the affidavit, what have you heard from the case so far that you'd like for our audience to know? What do you feel is the most important aspect of this?
Well, the most important aspect, Michael, is that we've got the 6 charges. We've got 6 charges we think that are provable in a court of law. We've got the person removed from the children. That was the first obstacle we needed to get over, and we got that done. Now we're going forward, and detectives are combing through hours of video to see if there's any other forms of abuse that have not been reported.
Like what? What would be a potential form of abuse?
It seemed that this one is more often than not was kicking the children or hitting them.
And what, just to clarify, this individual has a bond, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Would you happen to know what that number is?
I believe it's $450,000 bond for the 6 different charges.
And has she posted that?
No, she remains in Smith County Jail.
And she was in Smith County Jail on the 30th, right?
That's correct.
As we go forward, what could the time frame for this look like? When do you hope to have, potentially a grand jury, a trial? Do you have any idea?
The grand jury has to take this case to the grand jury before 90 days is up, or we have to let the person out on a PR bond if they're incarcerated. So I'm sure the district attorney's office will have that to the grand jury in a very timely manner in a case like this. So I look for that to happen, the indictments to come out. And my guess, best guess would be if we're at the point where we've gotten through all of that video evidence before grand jury, is anything else will be charged instead of with a complaint, a criminal complaint, will be probably most likely by indictment, would be my guess. That's what we've done in the past. We don't have to do another complaint, and rewarn them and all that and wait for another grand jury. We'll just do it all at one grand jury.
And what's the maximum penalty each charge could potentially carry?
I don't know what degree felonies they are at this point. It's at least probably a second degree, so it'll be 20 years, up to 20 years.
For each? Or
for each. And it can be stacked to run concurrently, or they can be stacked to run consecutively.
What's the difference?
Consecutive would be you do your first, say you got 6 indictments and 6 convictions. You do your first one, you serve it out, then you start your second one and serve it out. They're stacked on top of one another. Whereas concurrently, you take all 6 and say you got 6 years, that's all you'll do for all 6 of them. But consecutively, they have to do one, then the other, and it's stacked on top. They can't start the second and the third and the fourth and fifth and the sixth until they finish the previous one's indictments.
And that's something that's decided at the sentencing?
That's decided at the sentencing by the judge or the jury.
And you said that more than 6 charges could be brought upon the
Yes, I believe we have up to 100 or maybe a little over 100 instances, but some of them will be added into each separate complaint, and mostly likely each separate indictment if it's the same child, and it happens on or about the same day or the same time frame. It's just really whatever the district attorney's office, how they want us to proceed with it in a case like this where you have multiple instances that occur, and you just figure out what's the best for them to prove in court and the best for the children, the victims.
What should parents know or guardians know, if they see something on their child that could potentially be abuse? When should they?
If they see something on a child, they should obviously question the child about it and get to the bottom of it. Children, especially young children, it's very difficult to them. They don't have the mind where they can really make up things that aren't true until they reach a certain age. So some of them, 2, 3, 4 years old, they can't make up a lie. You have that, but also with any absence of anything, just having your child in a daycare, talk to them often about how their day was, what they did, and things of that nature, and maybe something would come out. They have the opportunity for something to come out where they may be afraid to say it otherwise.
Is there anything else you'd like our audience to know about this case?
Not at this time, until it goes to grand jury or until we get further information from the video evidence that we've got. We don't have really anything other than what I've talked about today.